Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Ranked Play with Matthremar. This is episode 9, and we have succumbed to the madness and have now joined in on the Snowglobe spam. So today we will be running a Mind Corruptor in a bubble with a Barrier Monk. And if you like what you see here, you like the content that we're providing, please feel free to like, subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, be sure to hit that notification bell. Also, if you have comments regarding anything that you see, please feel free to leave them below. We're always looking for ways to improve our builds and to find ways to counter the things that we see the most often, which is kind of what we're looking at tonight. So without further ado, let me show you what we're working with. I have created a replica of a lot of what you'll see out there with these Snowglobe builds. You have a rear guard and a flank guard with your plague bearers. Up front, you'll usually see some thorn guards, often with a battle drummer. And then you have your core units, which vary a lot depending on who you run into. You'll sometimes see Ember Fiends, Arcane Archers, Crystal Spires, just a lot of endgame frenzy units, because this build is meant to last a long time and then get you to that frenzy stage. I've equipped these cannoneers with Thunderstrike and range, and then we've got my Barrier Monk, and I've got my Mind Corruptor. There we go. So again, I'm always short on Power Stones because I'm always trying out new stuff that I want to show you guys and that I want to get your feedback on. So that is what we're working with right now, and I have recorded some battles that we'll take a peek at here. We're going to start here. Alright, this is an font. Okay, so let's take a peek here. We've got a squad build. I see a lot of squad builds with direwolves, and I have some issues with that. The reason that I have issues with that is because you're starting over the cap. When you're looking at the artifacts that people use, so I'll look at his because I don't have mine up. With the toe, he's already over the threshold for toe because you have to have 10 or less units. It says 11, less than 11 units to have that toe buff. And with this particular build, he's not going to be fluctuating over and under that mark to get regular heals from it. He's just looking to get one heal out of it. But the issue that I have with having direwolves is that you start over that cap, meaning that your entire army is weaker. And since your entire army is weaker, and you look up front here, he's got his Eternal Champions right up front. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen this battle, but in a lot of battles, he's going to lose one or two of those. And that's because he's over the cap, and they're not buffed. If he was under the cap, then they would last a lot longer. So anyway, that's my only grievance with this particular setup. I think otherwise it's pretty solid. And then you've got mine that he's up against, so let's see how we do. All right, look at the range on that. Oh, I neglected to mention I'm using Banner, Skull of the Necrolord, and Pendant of Everlasting Winter. I see these Snowglobe builds with the banner all the time, so I'm like, hey, you know what? It seems to work for everybody else. I'll give it a shot. And look at that. Look at the range on that. That's like a third of the way across the map if you were to do it lengthwise all the way across. He's got some wicked reach. And the Thunderstrike on those cannoneers is just so stout. So anyway, he had a solid build. Again, only problem is with the direwolves, but hey, you know, he's doing all right, so not too much to complain about there. This one I found very intriguing. We've got an Untamed Beast with direwolves, Valkyrie, Druid. We've got a Spider's Nest, a Crystal Spire, a Soul Pylon, and a couple of walls. So very tight corner build. That Untamed Beast is not going to be able to get back in there to attack the constructs or the healing units. So he's got that plotted out very well. And what's going to happen is it's going to take me forever and a day to get across the map, but I'm not too terribly concerned because he doesn't have a Draining Spirit to get that Soul Pylon firing. So I felt really good at the beginning of this. And then this happened. So I start working my way across. Ooh, got hit by that meteor. That was fun. One of the few times the meteor actually hits. You notice that just taking random pot shots on the rest of the map. But here I am trying to work my way in. I'm getting the wolves. Get a few spiders in there, but it's just not enough to work its way back. And here I am stuck. I'm just not able to punch through. And that UB has so much mass that my cannoneers can't even push it anywhere. So yeah, I get totally hooped by this. This was a fantastic build. So good job, dude. That was awesome. Let's see. We have... Oh, okay, this one was fun. So yeah, we got your battle wagon right up front there. We have a molten armor, some crystal spires, some archers, rear guard with some plague bearers, and then there is a catapult. And I think that's... Yeah, I don't think there's anything down at the bottom. But he's working with banner, arcane reconstruction hammer, and pendant of everlasting winter. So kind of oriented towards maximizing the crystal spires by giving them the extra range. And then the arcane, because the catapult will hit anywhere on the map, it doesn't bother the catapult. The arcane reconstruction hammer does fantastic for this because he's got the battle wagon, the crystal spires, the molten armor, and the catapult. So he's got a lot of units there that can come back. So I think this is a very, very well planned out build. It's got a lot of good strategy to it. Way to slow you down up front by plowing through you and decoying you with all the units that pop out of that battle wagon. That molten armor to hold you for the next stage of the battle. And then some good sustained ranged DPS that'll cover the whole map and good protection for the rear and the side. Because this setup with the plague bearers, you're going to catch any assassins that are put in that way back corner. They're going to run right down to those plague bearers and follow them for a while until it's not going to matter because the crystal spires will nuke them. But even if they came from the side or the bottom corner, they're still going to catch those plague bearers. So one unit has solved a lot of this person's problems. So let's go ahead and see how we do. Let's zoom. Oops, I'm going to have to go back a bit here. Hit the wrong button. Okay. So let's zoom back out. There we go. Okay, so that catapult is slightly negated early on by my barrier monk. And then we are losing a lot of our thorn guards very quickly because of those crystal spires. So the range on those things is absolutely fantastic. Okay, and then my rear and side guards have been doing very well at interference, just holding everything off. And okay, you see I've mind controlled... Okay, pause for just a second here. See how I mind controlled his molten armor back here a little bit? And then when he comes up here, he's really low on health, and I think he's got execute on there because I get down... Oh no, it gets all the way down. But his arcane reconstruction hammer reconstructs the mind controlled unit, and then I think it's mine from that point on. Obviously, we don't find out long enough to see if the mind control would wear off. But that just really intrigued me. I'm like, oh, so his arcane reconstruction hammer will totally bring him back, even if I have control over him. That's an interesting mechanic. I don't know if that was intended, but kind of neat. Let's learn something new every day. Okay, this one, Gundus. We had a nature build, so let's take a peek here. We've got our untamed beasts, top and bottom, with a druid tag-along. Then we've got crows, and we've got assassins in each corner with some dire wolves in the back. I don't know why the dire wolves are way in the back. I don't see what they help, but they are way back there. There's not too much strategy to the nature builds. It's just you have kind of your general rules to them, but it just seems like a lot of people put their big swarm and powerful units right up front and just try to plow through really quickly. But very good levels on all these units, so this is going to be a little frightening here. levels 8 and 9 on the assassins, but they don't need to be too high level to take out some of those corner builds. So yeah, pretty solid build. Lots of good stout numbers in there. I'm jealous about those UBs. I'd love to have some of those level. Okay, let's see how we do. Okay, he starts coming in, and I am really confident about this because I'm holding everybody off. There goes one UB, and then everything starts dying, and I didn't realize that those assassins were cleaning up my entire back line, and then it was over. So sometimes you just get overwhelmed, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't beat every build, and that's a solid build with some good stout units, so good job. Grigory. Okay, oh, this one. Okay, this one's interesting. We've got some ECs down in this back corner with the Ember Fiend and the Druid, and I think that's to keep everybody far enough away from that UB, which is closer to the bomb that you see right there. So it's going to anchor to that bomb and start running to the front, which protects the Untamed Beast from a lot of the stuff that you'll find, like, because a lot of people will have bombs right up in the front. So that makes it to where the dire wolves are probably going to take the first hit and keep that Untamed Beast alive. So very solid strategy there. I like that a lot. We've got the Cannoneer, which is, again, further away than the bomb, so the UB is going to gravitate to that. The Blessed Bombot, if any of these dire wolves or even the UB die to an initial bomb or two, then they're probably going to get a chance to come back. Now you've got the nature artifact, so if they do come back and they're low health, they're going to be attacking very quickly right off the get-go, so hopefully they'll get some more burst damage, and maybe even the UB regain some of his health through that. You've got your kind of honorary frenzy unit in the Ember Fiend that is kind of the only really, the Cannoneer and the Ember Fiend are your frenzy units for towards the end, just to kind of catch those long range things. So if everything else is done, then you've still got that Ember Fiend and possibly the Cannoneer to clean up whatever's left. And the ECs, they're kind of by themselves. I mean, I guess that Druid's there, but I don't really like seeing them off all by themselves. It's kind of, they're very rugged units, but when there's just the three of them, they're not they're not terribly strong just by themselves. It's very easy for them to get surrounded. They work very well when they've got something to guard their flank. So, okay, so that's another nature build that we're up against. Let's see how we do here. Okay, my Thorn Guards are shredding up that UB. That's why you see a lot of people putting those up front nowadays. I've taken over his Druid, taking over a lot of other things. See those ECs, they're just by themselves, and now they're getting surrounded. Yeah, I don't think this is going to end well for him. But obviously he's doing well against a lot of other people. We're not here to throw shade on anybody. Everybody's here in this top 1,000 for a reason. So, and look at the range on that Mind Corruptor. Just almost halfway across the map, catching that Cannoneer. And yeah, you can see why a lot of people are doing those Snowglobe builds. Okay, next one. Renardolf. Oh, I'm not trying to select. Let's back up. There we go. All right, Renardolf. Let's just pause for a second here and we'll take a peek. This is a corner build. We've got some decoy stuff along the way. That one little patch of Mind Shrooms is savage on any Titan build or squad or hero build, whatever you want to call it. When you've got your Eternal Champions and your Monster Hunter and your Paladin, when that whole group runs into that patch of shrooms, it's almost game over. You got the Plague Bearers just to tag someone with Plague and hopefully pull them further away. Buy some time for this corner build to really crank it. So yeah, pretty standard. We've analyzed these corner builds before. We'll just go ahead and see how it plays against the Snowglobe. Okay, that Thunderstrike Cannoneer combo is just so savage. It's just brutal. Boom. If you catch the plague bearers with both hits, the initial kinetic hit and then the explosive hit from the cannonball, it's just savage. I used that word all night tonight just because I love it. I love seeing stuff just go kaboom. So yeah, he held me off, took me down. Those soul pylons, RNG does play a little bit into it, but it's just a very well-rounded strategy altogether. Okay, let's see. We've got Zai-Shibron. And here we've got some plague bearers, a lot of plague bearers. We've got the soul pylon, the crystal spire. We've got an ancient tree, a battle wagon, some archers in the way back with an arcane archer, and nothing down below. Okay, so this is all the plague bearers are meant to buy time, slow down the other army. Oh, we got a draining spirit up front. So we're looking to tag with plague and hold off. And then special delivery with the draining spirit just to start thinning down the opposing army while feeding more plague bearers in from the behind. I don't know why those archers are all the way back. I kind of wonder about that. Any assassins, and they're just gone, including the arcane archer. I think at this stage, a group of assassins anywhere around level 10 would shred through that entire group of archers and the arcane archer, and he'd be toast. So I would prefer, personally, to put the plague bearers behind the archers and the arcane archer. But that would just be my preference. Yeah. So pretty solid build. We're going to have the decoy wagon coming through to drag me all the way to the back. That's going to allow the draining spirit and the plague to do its work. And yeah, the soul pylon, all those plague bearer bodies would feed that soul pylon if there was a swarm incoming. So let's see how we do. All right, battle wagon coming through, kind of pulling me back, taking my focus towards the rear. And then we've got the army of plague bearers that are going to keep me occupied for a while. So this isn't looking so good for me. I'm kind of caught up in this whole mess. We got the draining spirit that's still clinging on. It's going to kind of hang on for dear life there till it makes it back to the group. But yeah, I was really concerned right up until here, where the range of that banner and here, let's go back and look at that again. Yeah, that was the one. The range on that Mind Corruptor reaches, again, that looks like about a third of the way across the entire length of the map, and catches that ancient tree, and then everything's toast after that. All the archers and the arcane archer just poof. Also, you'll notice that right at the very beginning, the cannoneers, they take out the soul pylon and the crystal spire with one shot. And that's because they updated the tooltip so that we can actually be aware now that the cannoneers do, I think, 3 times damage to constructs. So a very, very lucky shot there. I can't guarantee that would always happen, where you'd place the cannonball right at the base of the constructs. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think I need to rewind that one. Okay, Whoppy. So we're up against another Snowglobe. Let's see how we do. He's got Cannoneer, Mind Corruptor, very comparable to mine, except for I have the 2 Cannoneers. And he's got an Arcane Archer tucked up in that top right corner, which will be very fortuitous for him, as you'll see in about 10-15 seconds here. Because I think I've got it. I'm working my way in, his Mind Corruptor's down. I'm like, oh, I totally got this. And then pew, pew, pew. And yeah, so closing in, I think, oh, I've got all the stuff in the world, but nope, can't move fast enough. He just shreds me from afar, and I'm toast. So Those arcade archers, you put them in the right spot and they can win you a battle almost single-handedly. You just hold stuff off long enough. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call it here because we're at 20 minutes, but I do have more. I'll go ahead and make another video and we'll send that out either tomorrow morning or something like that. But anyway, we left off at number 8, and I've got quite a few more to go. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments that you would like to add, anything that you notice that you feel is worth mentioning, please add that in the comments below. And please help me build my channel. We're looking to make something big out of this. We want to get some other contributors, get some influence from the community, and we'll see where we can take this thing. So thanks for watching. We'll be back again soon.